Ahoj, tady je Nika a vítejte zpátky u hry Agatha Christie Vražda v Orient Expresu. Tahle hra je zadarmo, nebo její demíčko je zadarmo v rámci Steam Next Festu. A dnešní stream, nebo tenhle stream už je dneska druhý. Hráli jsme kolem oběda, asi půl hodinky a teď budeme pokračovat. Takže pokud jste tu nebyli, tak když tak je možnost buď tady na Twitchi zhlídnout záznam, anebo později bude záznam potom i na YouTube, takže celý ten příběh, který budeme hrát, je možný se tam podívat. Je to teda pouze demíčko, takže jakmile dojde demo, tak samozřejmě končíme. Nehrajeme celou hru, jen tak, aby bylo jasno. Tak, poslední věc, kterou jsme dělali, že jsme sbírali ne, jak to vám říct česky, Hergo? Jak se řekne klů česky? Stopy? Stopy. Dali jsme stopy v tom pokoji toho zavražděného. A teď teda nás čeká, máme si promluvit s svědkama. A máme tady udělat rekapitulaci událostí. Se na to podíváme. Vyberte 2 prvky, které pomohou odhalit, co se stalo v noc vraždy. Jasně, sklenička s práškem určitě. Prášky na spaní. To zní logicky. OK. Výhružný dopis, zastavené v 1.15. Pistole, takže to je rozhodně výhružný dopis. Pistole. Byl připraven, že jo, kdyby náhodou. Byl ve střehu, ale bohužel chtěl zůstat ve středu. Ale někdo mu nejspíš postrčil pochybu, že by si to vzal sám. Že jinak by si nepřipravoval pistoli, že jo. Tam je něco špatně.
I can't imagine Ratchet taking a sleeping pill if he feared for his life.
That was easy.
Tak. Máme našetové zaměstnanci, teď se doktora Konstantina alibi. To jsou 2 osoby, které pracují pro Rašeta. Byla to H? Ne? Tak, z tohohle teda zatím asi nic nevím. Jdeme se zeptat doktora. Co a jak? Doktore? Doktore? Doktore?
I'm sorry, Doctor, but I must question you.
Of course. I must be considered under suspicion like everyone else.
May I know your movements last night?
I share compartment 101 with Mr. Book. He would not stop talking about his beloved train. I listened to him for hours talking about his Orient Express.
My friend Book will no doubt confirm this. Did you know the victim?
Not at all. I noticed him last night at dinner, but I did not pay much attention.
Did you touch anything in here this morning?
I checked for a pulse. There was none. Rigor mortis had commenced. The body was cool to the touch. I touched nothing else.
What can you tell me about the victim?
He died from multiple stab wounds of varying angles and depth. More than one would have been fatal. I would place the time of death roughly between midnight and 2 a.m. With more time, I hope I can be more precise.
What can you tell me about the victim?
He died more than one. I would place the time of death roughly
Půlnocí a
between
2 hodinou.
midnight
Já
and
tak to
2
odpovídá.
a.m.
Že na hodinkách bylo 1.15, takže to je v pořádku.
I assume the open window complicates matters.
Indeed. Conditions are not perfect.
I think I've seen everything I need at the moment. I am counting on you to finish your analysis.
I'll have a more detailed report for you as soon as I can.
OK.
So, Poirot, did you find anything out?
It's a bit early for the handcuffs, my friend, even for Hercule Poirot. Do not worry, mon ami. I believe our culprit has no plans to strike again. Monsieur Ratchet was the target. Of that I am convinced. Tell me, Book, how did you spend last night?
This is a joke, I hope. Don't you trust your old friend?
My friend, calm yourself. I must hear your story in order to corroborate other accounts.
Ah, naturally. Let me see. I went to my compartment after dinner. Dr. Constantine was already there. We talked about his career. He's a Cambridge man, you know. After university, he returned to his country and has done much good there. He was so interested in the Orient Express. I told him all the anecdotes I know. I'm not certain when we fell asleep, but it was very late.
Here is what I have found out. Monsieur Ratchet was stabbed many times. I also found threatening letters in his safe. He had a loaded gun under his pillow, so he was on guard, ready to defend himself. However, there was an empty glass with white residue at the bottom. I suspect a barbiturate. Perhaps he was forced to take it. In any case, I am certain he was unconscious, unable to defend himself. I also found several other items at the crime scene, possibly related to the murder. They must be investigated.
By all means, Poirot. As fast as you can.
I also found liquid for an electronic cigarette, but I could not find a vape. This might belong to the murderer.
This criminal is an amateur.
Buď je to amatér, nebo se to snaží na někoho hodit.
I need a list of the passengers with their compartment numbers.
Pierre Michel will have it.
I must interview the rest of the passengers and the staff.
I'll be in the bar car if you need me. We are hours late. Soon I hope help will arrive.
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you.
Já nevím. Jsem nějak prošvihla. Zní francouzsky. Je víc než 15 let u firmy, takže ani 17, ani 33 mu asi nebude. Víš, jako mohl by být, ale nevypadá na 33.
Et voilà. Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Mhm. Úplně nechápu. Ten poslední, ten Rudolf, tam má počet míst 2. Co jako 2 místa? Úplně nerozumím. Každopádně je tam Harris, Hardman a Hubbardová. Hubbardová je ta vedle. A pak měl něco s tím A2TV, myslím, že to bylo. Ale nikdo takovej tady není. Takže by to byl ten druhý člověk v čísle 205.
you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No, tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. And then his secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Ještě bys mi mohl říct, co to znamená, to, co právě řekl francouzsky. Tak ještě jednou, prosím tě, jména těch komorníků.
Did anybody go?
His valet, monsieur.
Masterman
And then his
a
secretary, the young...
McQueen.
No, I then left to answer...
Okay.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Vinkovsky.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
Mhm. Okay. Tak, potřebuju si ty zaměstnance, než to zapomenu. To je zaměstnanci. Takže McQueen a Masterman.
That's the right answer.
Mhm. Tak. Tak, zrekonstruujte pohyb těla. 0:10 jsme byli odjížděli, takže to patří sem. Voláme těla. Teď volám Michelovi. To musí být opačně, takhle. Volám Michelovi. Michel odchází s Pošerem do baru. Ta volá na Michela.
My little grey cells did not let me down.
Dobrý. Samozřejmě zrovna v tu dobu, kdybychom ho potřebovali, tak tam nebyl.
I think I've seen everything I need at the moment. I am counting on you to finish your analysis.
I'll have a more detailed report for you as soon as I can.
Cože? Jsem se teleportovala zpátky sem? OK, nevadí. Jsem přeskočila něco, než jsem měla asi udělat ty zaměstnance a pak jít mluvit s Michelem. Nevadí. Jmenuje se Michel? No, už jsem to chtěla zapomenout, jak se jmenuje. Tak. Kluci, vy jste ty zaměstnanci? Ne. Nevypadá to tak. Zvuk.
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I have not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I will report to you as soon as I can.
Mluvíme s barmanem? Ne? Ještě teda ne. Tady jsou... Ne, tady je to skladiště. A ještě nescem, chceme zaměstnance, do kuchyně jsem chtěla. Ahoj, radované. Nikdo není. Takže ještě, že by byli ve svých pokojích? Kuchaři tu jsou, tak aspoň s kuchařem asi můžu promluvit teda. Taky ne? Tak kde jsou? Takže by byli ve druhé třídě? Tady už jsou jenom ty pokoje zaměstnanců. Je. Tak zpátky zase. Já podívala jsem se na 204, jestli tam nemůžu ťuknout na tu, na Hubartovou. Nemůžu mluvit? Teda jako, vzhledem k tomu, že to je šedý, tak předpokládám, že jako nemůžu. Jakože mi třeba neřekne nic novýho. Pět, 204. Je tam?
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my god. I knew it. I knew it.
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
Takhle se mi to líbí, když spolupracujou podezřelí. Tak. Jak poznám, jestli je to Američanka nebo Kanaďanka? Hele, podle toho, že je zdvořilá, tak typu, že je to Kanaďanka. Věk? Sorry, 37 ti fakt není. Žena v domácnosti, pokojská kontrolorka. Tak asi žena v domácnosti.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from
Tak je
the
to
truth.
Američanka teda.
That was easy.
Tak. Teď já tady zatím prohlídnu. Z téhle strany je západka zavřená.
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side.
Toho vyplývá, že někdo odešel z jeho pokoje sem do toho jejího pokoje a zavřel za sebou.
The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail.
Nevypadá to, že bych to mohla prozkoumat, tak úplně nevím, co po mně chtějí. Možná později.
Here is a jacket button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Nějakému zaměstnanci chyběl knoflík? Máme druhý kňour.
Haha! Golden mustache.
Golden mustache.
Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
Takže jako v tuhle chvíli je možno, že se vrátil zpátky do toho druhého kupé? Nevím, úplně se mi to nezdá.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive. Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Je pravda, že na to nevypadáš, no, že bys nosila takové
Are
věci.
you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to... a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure.
Okay.
I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind,
Hrajte si scénu z toaletní tašku. Toaletní taška zakrývala západku na dveří. Musím to ověřit. OK.
let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door. This hook is probably where Mrs. O'Bowd hung her toiletry bag.
Chápu. Věstíme dveře.
I can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that
Interesting.
up with Mrs. O'Bowd.
Já jsem myslela, že jako neviděla, protože měla... Co jako kontaktní čočky jsem tady. Ono je to takhle. Okay.
Mrs. O'Bowd, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
Du. Která z těchto vět obsahuje lež? Ano, byly, jak jsem vám řekla. Jsem byla v posteli. Vysela na háčku. Z místa, kde jsem ležela, jsem na zádech. Tady. Z místa, kde jsem ležela, jsem na zámek neviděla.
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame O'Bowd?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Berete prvek, který dokazuje, že lže. Aspirin, západka byla vidět.
Mrs. O'Bowd, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame O'Bowd is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her.
Proč mi lžel?
Thank you for your assistance, madame.
No, pro tuto chvíli jsme s ní skončili, tak to uvidíme. Jak se panu člověk vyhnul, ale jak? Jak se mu vyhnul? Pojď otázka. O půlnoci na nástupišti. Nástupišti. Tím pádem není na své, na své pozici. Jo, protože tam přesně v té době nebyl. Jasně. Tak využil nepřítomnost pana Michaela k nepozorovanému útěku. Vyšlo.
While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Ratchet's room without being seen. My little grey cells did not let me down.
Jasně, takže on se z jejího pokoje vrátil zpátky do toho Ratchetova pokoje. Tam zůstal vlastně do té doby, dokud bylo čistý vzduch a pak teprve utek. Tak to mám hádat? Vím. Co dál? Jdem sem. Pokoj. Někdo, s kým bychom si ještě mohli promluvit, potřebujeme ty zaměstnance. V baru ani v restauraci nikdo nebyl. Taky bys mohl zaklepat, tyjo. Ty jsi nějaký smutný, ty asi budeš jeho zaměstnanec, no?
Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you.
Dobře. Řebíčkový olej. Dobře. Mandlový cyklin řebíčkový. 7 ml. Můžu nic kliknout, ale...
Oh, this toothache is torture.
Mám trying, do prdeli. Jsem to málo otevřel.
By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job.
Tak, prostě tu máme. Potřebuju...
To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
Tahle je těžší než tahle. Tahle je zatím nejlehčí. Je lehčí. Tak, modrá je nejtěžší. Ta je těžší. Těžší. Těžší, takže žlutá je druhá. Myslím, že tyhle dvě byly lehčí, ne? Si dobře pamatuju. No. No. Tak. Tyhle dvě. Takhle a tohle je teda nejlehčí. Dobře.
Now that I know the order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the clove oil.
Určitě, takže.
I don't think this is the remedy.
Sedmička.
Here is Monsieur Masterman's remedy.
Radovan poznal hlášku.
Here
tady
is
máš
your
olej.
remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir.
Má to okamžitý účinek.
I can finally speak
Zajímavý.
without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Kvalitka.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
Vypoužij Američan. Věk. 39. Komorník.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
Ty opravdu vzal von?
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he finds smokers disgusting.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked for my help to watch over him? I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Ratchet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Ratchet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting worse again.
To je
I'm afraid
zajímavý.
this time you must prepare your own clove oil.
Najednou se to zase zhoršilo, to jsou věci. Mohl někdo podplatit, aby mu to dal? Říct. Lepej, Herglo.
I believe I am addressing Monsieur Hector McQueen.
Guilty as charged.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry. Just an expression. My father used to say it.
You must have had an interesting childhood. I am Hercule Poirot.
No need to be modest. You're a detective.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's secretary?
I am Mr. Ratchet's secretary. Just over a year. I mainly take care of translating certain texts for him. Mr. Ratchet only speaks English.
Prepare yourself for a shock.
Aha!
Your employer, Monsieur Ratchet, is dead.
Zevnitř někdo volal francouzsky, takže to nemohl být
What
on.
do you mean? You are assuming he was murdered?
I know he had enemies.
What can you tell me about Monsieur Ratchet?
He was American. He was an antiques dealer. I don't know much more. Mr. Ratchet never talked about himself or his life, but I think Ratchet wasn't his real name, and he left the United States to run away from something or someone.
Yes?
He started getting letters, threatening letters.
Do you still have them?
I have one.
Did you know that Monsieur Ratchet had asked for my help?
Asked you? No, I didn't know.
He knew he was in danger. When did you last see him?
Last night around 10 o'clock, I should say.
Did you like your employer, Monsieur McQueen?
No, I did not. He was, I'm sure, a cruel and dangerous man.
Ergotašták.
Can you tell me your movements last night?
I went back to my compartment. I read a little. In Belgrade, I went out onto the platform to smoke, but it was cold. I quickly went back in. I then went to Mr. Ratchet's compartment to take some dictation for him. I left around 10 o'clock. I saw Captain Arbuthnot. We ended up chatting in my compartment. Then we went out on the platform to quickly stretch our legs at Binkovsky. He left around 2 o'clock.
Thank you. I will need to check Monsieur McQueen's story with Captain Arbuthnot. I found a diary in Monsieur Ratchet's safe. Did you know about it?
I kept a business appointment book, but I know he had a personal diary as well. That looks like it.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried to quit, but no luck.
Can you give me this letter, please?
Of course, here it is.
Rozhodně k věci, žádný pokecávání.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he hated the smell of smoke.
Okay. Koukám, že tady je konec vlaku. Yep.
The train is completely trapped because of the avalanche. Hopefully not for too long.
No, už se tam pár hodin, tak nevím. Tím se vás nikdo neobtěžoval, jako zachraňovat. Na to, že to má být 2023? Jo, podíváme se na myšlenkovou mapu. Popravdě myšlenek podezřelej není. Já říkám ne.
This is the most likely answer.
Paní Hubardová je mi podezřelá.
This direction looks promising.
Tak. Co máme dál? Vyslechněte Myšela. Jsem ho vyslýchala. Můžeme tam dojít, jo? I toho kapitána taky potřebujeme. Tady v oknu. Můžeme se podívat z okna na sníh. Sníh. Super. Nevím, jestli čekám, že tam fakt něco uvidím, ale zatím teda ne.
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Vyberte 2 prvky zájmu za setkání s panem Michelem. Večer v den vraždy. Ještě mluví pouze anglicky. Ale v den vraždy prej mluvil francouzsky. A Michelem nemluvil Ratchet. Ano, přesně tak. McQueen nedělal Ratcheta, naposledy kolem 22. Ratchet volal 037. A nemohl to být ono. Tak předstíral, že je v 037 stále naživu. Ale 037 byl stále naživu. Zavražděný byl pravděpodobně v 1:15. 037 byl nejspíš jenom bezvědomý, po těch prášcích.
The murderer may have impersonated Ratchet by calling Monsieur Michel to make it seem that Ratchet was still alive at 12:37 a.m. That was easy.
Takže ty zastavené hodinky mohly být schválně, aby se fingoval čas smrti. Takže se bere prášky na spaní, vstoupí do Ratchetova kupé vrah, zastřelí ho pistolí, schová pod polštář. To je špatně. Zaonačí zločin jako bodnutí nožem, počká, až se Michel vzdálí, aby mohl vycít kupé. To je blbost. Někdo by slyšel střelbu. Ratchet si bere prášky na spaní, vstoupí do Ratchetova kupé, bodne ho nožem, zavolá na Michela, aby se domníval, že stále žije, otevře okno, aby unikl, vlaky uvízlí, počká, až se Michel vzdálí, ho pustit. Prášky na spaní, vrah stoupí, bodne ho nožem, zavolá, aby se stíral, že žije, otevře okno, uniká. To vypadá jako nejpravděpodobnější.
But
Ne?
I'm never far from the truth.
To musí být dole.
Et voilà.
Je McQueen podezřelý, je Masterman podezřelý. A který byl který? Taková který, já se nepamatuju. Nevím. Takhle, tenhle určitě umí víc jazyky. Tenhle těžko říct, ale zase jako proč mu dával ty prášky? Podle mě jsou podezřelí oba, to je ten problém. Ne.
According to the information I have, this is a solid choice.
No souhlasí, aspoň že tak. Masterman je podezřelej, protože kvůli těm práškům, protože mi lhal.
This direction looks promising.
Tak jo. Podat zprávu Zvukovi.
So, my friend,
Chybí mu
have you
knoflík.
found our
Chybí
killer?
mu knoflík.
Not yet, but I will tell you what I have learned.
Please.
Our assassin could have gotten on the train at Vinkovsky disguised as a conductor, entered Ratchet's room and killed him. Then he walked out through Madame Hubbard's connecting door, where he lost a button from his jacket. He had to wait for Monsieur Michel to be absent. He waited too long. The train had left the station.
He was trapped aboard.
Indeed. He had opened the window to make it look that he'd escaped that way. However, if he waited until the train stopped again due to snow, his footprints would have been found.
The murderer is still among us. On the train.
There's a problem with the second-class toilets.
What now?
All morning passengers have been complaining that the door is locked, so I went to check. I knocked, but no one answered. I didn't think I should open it without speaking to you first.
You did well, Monsieur Michel. Lead the way.
I used my master key.
Bude tam další mrtvola?
But who is she? Is she alive?
She is breathing.
Then if she isn't dead, isn't she our murderer?
That, my friend, is what we must find out.
Tak jo, já myslím, že to by pro dnešek stačilo. Já teda netuším, jestli... Nejde uložit teď. Dobře, tak tohle ještě teda odehrajem.
Miss, can you hear me?
Hejbe se, tak asi jo.
She's breathing. Her pulse is strong. There is no sign of physical violence. This woman is sleeping very soundly.
Ty prášky na spaní byly pro ní? Lístek. Joanna Lock.
Ticket reads Joanna Locke, traveling in compartment 105. This woman is sound asleep. Given her location, I would say she has been drugged and deposited here.
Well, at least it's not another murder on my train.
The train is, of course, full.
Monsieur, the list I gave you indicates that Hildegard Schmidt shares her compartment.
I will want to talk to her later. For now, we will concentrate on this mysterious young lady. Let's return her to her more comfortable bed.
Good idea. Pierre, locate this woman's room and fetch the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I will question her when she wakes up.
Please, let me know what you learn.
Mademoiselle Locke's compartment is 105. I suggest we return her to her more comfortable bed.
Yes, hopefully she will awaken soon.
Uložit? Můžeme uložit, výborně. SKP. SKP. Tak jo, já myslím, že to pro dnešek stačí. Netuším, jak dlouhý to demíčko ještě bude. Pokud to půjde, tak když tak zítra budeme pokračovat. Dohrajeme do konce toho demíčka. Pro dnešek to bude vše. Já moc děkuji, že jste přišli. Nezapomeňte se podívat když tak i na ten první díl. Radovaný, ty jsi tady byl, takže to už koukat nemusíš. Ale když tak záznam bude na YouTube, takže zdravím i ty, co koukají ze záznamu. Ahoj. Tak jo, ještě jednou děkuju a mějte se pěkně. Ahoj.